Jack Rayner stood outside his small outpost on Varela 7, a cold, lonely moon far from Earth. The wind was thin here, sky always dark with swirling blue clouds. He had lived alone for 8 months, maintaining old machines, running system checks, and waiting for supply drops. His only company was an AI assistant named Rita. "Storm activity increasing," Rita said in her calm voice. "Return inside in 20 minutes. Jack wiped grease off his hands and nodded. "All right, Rita. Just need to fix this last sensor." Suddenly, a loud boom echoed across the sky. He looked up quickly. A bright object shot through the clouds like a meteor. It spun out of control, flames trailing behind it. "Rita, was that a ship? Confirmed? Incoming craft? Crash trajectory Sector 14, 2 kilometers east. No signal. No ID." Jack didn't think twice. He grabbed his jacket, medkit, an emergency beacon. He jumped on his hoverbike and sped into the dark valley. The crash site was a mess of twisted metal and burning parts. Sleek alien shuttle had torn through the ice and rock, now half buried in a crater. Strange glowing symbols marked its surface. Jack's heart pounded. This wasn't a human ship. It looked royal. He ran toward the wreckage, shouting, "Is anyone alive?" No answer. He scanned with his tracker. One life sign, very weak. He climbed into the broken hull. Inside, silver blue lights blinked faintly. A high-tech medical pod lay open, smoke rising from it. Inside the pod was a woman in ale, an alien princess. She was tall and thin, with pale blue skin and long silver hair. Her clothes were torn and burned. It still had gold and crystal symbols on them. Jack could tell she was important. "Rita," said through his cum, "get the medbay ready." "She's alive, but barely." "Understood. Beginning prep." Pressure dropping. Species: Seraphian Royal. Warning: incompatible biology. He lifted her gently. She was light as a feather, but burning with fever. Her body shivered, and her lips moved faintly. "Help. Me. I've got you, Jack." Said, "You'll be okay." Back at the outpost, the medical system scanned her. She had burns, broken ribs, and a rare poison in her blood. The machines couldn't neutralize it. "She will die within an hour," Rita said. "Only possible treatment: blood infusion to support regeneration. No Seraphian blood available." Jack frowned. "Can human blood work?" "Probability unknown. Dangerous. Might trigger rejection or worse." "She's dying," Jack said. "If I don't try, she's dead anyway." He rolled up his sleeve. Rita beeped.
"A warning, Jack Rayner.
"You are not a licensed interspecies donor." "I don't care," Jack said. "Start the transfer." The system connected tubes from his arm to hers. His red human blood began to flow into her silver veins. The machine adjusted the chemistry slowly, mixing it safely. At first, nothing happened. Then her body jerked once. Her skin began to glow faintly, silver lines spreading like light under her skin. Her heartbeat grew stronger. Jack stared, stunned. "It's working." "Signs stable," Rita said. "Unknown reaction forming. Cellular activity rising." Suddenly her eyes opened. She gasped and sat up, breathing hard. Her silver eyes locked onto Jack. "Who are you?" she asked weakly. "I'm Jack. You crashed. I brought you here." She looked down at the tubes connecting them. "You gave your blood." He nodded. "Yeah, it was the only way." She stared at him like she had seen a ghost. "That is forbidden. It is ... dangerous." "Well," Jack said, trying to smile, "you're alive." She looked away, confused and frightened. "My name is Saria Valinara, Princess of the Seraphian Empire." "Yeah, I was ... escaping. My ship was attacked." "By who?" She lowered her head. "My own people. Or at least, people who now serve my uncle. He betrayed the crown. He wants me dead." Jack sat beside her. "You're safe here. I don't care who's hunting you." She looked back at him, softer now. "You should care. My presence puts your life in danger." "I'll take my chances," Jack said. Her hand touched her chest. "Something inside me feels different. Your blood, it changed me. Just then, the alarms screamed. Unknown drones approaching, Rita announced. Stealth units. Hostile. Jack grabbed his blaster. Looks like your uncle found us. Outside, black flying machines zoomed through the storm, invisible to the eye, but not to Rita's scanners. They fired plasma bolts at the outpost walls. Jack shot back, using cover and EMP grenades. But the drones were fast. Inside, Saria watched him fight. Then she closed her eyes, placed her hand on the wall, and whispered in her language. The walls glowed. The drones froze mid-air and exploded. Jack dropped his weapon, breathing hard. What was that? Surya stood at the door, glowing softly. Your blood awakened something in me, she said. A power we thought was lost. What kind of power? The Sci-Fi. Jack blinked. That sounds important. It is a legend, she said slowly. A myth in my people's history. The Sci-Fi was a force that came from the stars, not from Seraphia. It gave light, protection, and hope, but it vanished long ago, where she walked closer to him. Our scientists believed it was just a story. But your blood matches the old stories. Jack laughed nervously. I'm just a guy from Earth. She looked at him seriously. You may be more than that. Her body glowed again, stronger. This time, and when she touched Jack's arm, he glowed too. He stumbled. What the hell, Jack, she said, voice trembling. You are now linked to me. This bond, is forbidden in my world. But it may be the only way to stop what's coming. What is coming? She whispered. The fall of the galaxy. The outpost on Varela 7 was quiet again. The burnt remains of the enemy drones lay scattered around. Snow began to fall softly, covering the wreckage. Inside the base, Jack Rayner sat on the floor, breathing heavily. His arm still ached from the blood transfer. But he was alive. Across from him stood Princess Saria Valinara, glowing faintly with a silver-blue light. Her eyes were brighter now. She moved with grace and power like a storm hiding under silk. Jack looked at her. Okay now? She nodded. Better than okay? Your blood did something, impossible. What kind of something? She turned to the wall and touched a glowing console. The metal shifted under her hand like it was alive. Lights blinked and screens showed strange alien symbols. I can control technology now, she said softly. Feel energy. Before, I was only royal by blood. Now I am something else. Jack stood up slowly. You saying this happened because of me? Our species were never supposed to mix. Your blood is different. It unlocked ancient codes in my body. I can feel the Sci-Fi now. Jack scratched his head. Shh. You keep saying that. What is the Sci-Fi really? Saria looked at him seriously. It's more than power. It's a connection to the living systems of the galaxy. Long ago, Seraphians believed that when we were pure and united, the Sci-Fi protected us. But we became selfish. We started wars. The Sci-Fi vanished. She looked down at her hands. Until now, Jack walked over and sat on a crate. So, what does that make me? Some kind of chosen one? Saria tilted her head. Maybe, or maybe just the right person at the right time. Later, they sat in the command room, watching the stars outside. Rita, the AI, scanned for more threats. No enemy ships nearby, Rita reported. However, there is a coded message on the crashed ship's memory core. Jack turned to Saria. Do you want to see it? She hesitated, then nodded. The screen flickered. A video appeared, a man with sharp features and black armor, sitting on a golden throne. His eyes were cold. Uncle. Saria whispered. The man spoke. To any who find this message, know that Princess Saria is a traitor. She abandoned her. Duty stole royal technology and fled from justice. Do not protect her. She is dangerous. Jack clenched his fists. Lies. Saria's face was pale. He's turning the whole empire against me. Why? He wants the throne. My father was emperor. When he died, I was next. But Malvek never accepted that. He made deals with dark forces, the Shroud AI, a rogue machine race. They gave him power. In return, he gave them access to our systems. Jack's eyes widened. He sold out your people to an AI? And now, he wants to wipe out anyone who resists. Jack stood up. Then we can't stay here. We'll keep sending assassins. I agree, She'll said. There is a rebel base in the Kyrian belt, hidden. If we reach it, we can warn them. Fight back. Jack looked at the stars. And how do we get there? Saria smiled faintly. We steal a ship. At dawn, they returned to the crashed shuttle. With Rita's help, Jack powered up the broken systems. Saria repaired the controls with a touch of her glowing hand. Your tech obeys you now. Jack said. It's not obedience, she replied. It's harmony. They managed to lift the small ship into orbit. Engines groaned, but it flew. Inside the cockpit, Jack sat beside her. So, ... What happens if we're caught? We die, Saria said simply. Or worse. Jack smirked. Great, just like old times. Saria looked at him. You're not afraid? Of course I am, but I didn't give my blood to let you die twice. She looked at him with soft eyes. I owe you my life. He shook his head. Oh. Me a drink when this is over? She actually laughed as sweet. Musical sound Jack hadn't heard before. On the third day of travel, Jack began having strange dreams. He saw stars exploding, ancient ruins in space, voices in languages he didn't know. Symbols flashed in his mind: circles, fire, wings. He woke up sweating. Saria came to him. You saw them too? Jack nodded. What's happening to me? Our bond is growing. You're not just giving blood now. The energy of the Skyfire is flowing in both of us. Your body is changing. Jack blinked. Changing how? You may start to feel what I feel. See what I see? That doesn't sound so bad. Saria looked serious. It can be painful. On the fifth day, their ship arrived near the Carrion Belta field of spinning. Metal asteroids, old space mines, and ancient Seraphian wrecks. Deep inside it hid the rebel base. Saria sent the signal code. After a pause, a voice replied, Code accepted. Approach slowly. They flew through the twisting field. Jack kept, his hands steady on the controls. Finally, a hangar opened from inside an asteroid. They landed. Armed Seraphians in gray armor waited. Their eyes narrowed when they saw Jack. He's human, one of them said coldly. He saved my life, Saria said. And he carries the Skyfire. The rebels looked at her, stunned. Then they looked at Jack. The glowing lines on his skin were faint but visible now. One of the elders stepped forward. He bowed. The legend is true. Jack scratched his head. What legend? The elder replied, the starbound one. A being from outside Seraphia who would return the Skyfire, save the bloodline, and bring light in the time of darkness. Jack blinked. Okay, that's a lot. Saria smiled. Welcome to the fight, Jack. Inside the base, Jack learned more. The rebels were a mix of old soldiers, scientists, and outcasts. They had been hiding for years, planning to strike back. But they had no weapon powerful enough to stop Malvek's new fleet. Saria stood before them. We have hope now. Skyfire has returned. We must act. One soldier objected. You expect us to follow a human? Saria replied. He is more than human now. Jack stepped forward. I'm not asking to lead anyone. I just want to help. If Malvek wins, it's not just your empire that's doomed. It'll spread. It's an old general. Nodded. He speaks true. Then a scout ran in. Emergency. A new data Malvek has launched a planet-killer weapon. Target, Carrion Rebel Moon. 48 hours until impact. Silence filled the room. Saria turned to Jack. We need a miracle. Jack looked down at his glowing hands. Maybe I am one. The underground rebel base in the Kyrian belt was full of movement. Sirens echoed. Soldiers rushed down steel corridors. Engineers shouted commands. The clock was ticking. Malvec's planet killer weapon, a giant device called the Starfall. Lancer was flying toward the rebel moon at high speed. It would reach them in less than 48 hours. And once it hit, everything, base, people, hope would be gone. Inside the command room, Jack Rayner stood with Princess Saria Valinara, watching a hologram of the weapon on the screen. "It's massive," Jack said. "Like a flying Death Star." "Yes," Saria replied. "It burns a planet's core. Nothing survives." General Turok, an older Seraphian warrior with scars across his face, looked at Jack. "We need to destroy it before it reaches us." Jack nodded. "We'll need a ship, weapons, a team. We'll also need luck," Saria added. "Protected by an elite fleet shadow guard." "We don't have time for fear," Jack said. "We have the Skyfire." The room went silent. Jack's skin glowed faintly. Silver light moved like tiny stars under his veins. The bond between him and Saria had grown stronger. Their connection was no longer just about blood. It was now spiritual, ancient, dangerous. That evening, as plans were made, Jack sat quietly in a meditation chamber, alone with his thoughts. He looked at his hands. They glowed when he focused. Not like fire, but like energy. He could feel the machines in the walls. He could hear the hum of power deep underground. It was overwhelming. Saria walked in. "You're learning quickly," she said softly. "I don't want to become something I don't understand." "You already are," she replied. "But that doesn't mean you're alone." Jack looked up at her. "I feel like something's waking up inside me. It's not just power, it's memory." She nodded. "The Skyfire remembers. It's older than the Empire. Older than both of us." "I saw something in a dream," Jack said. "A giant crystal, ... floating in space. People kneeling before it. Then it shattered." Saria's face grew serious. "That was the heart of Seraphia. The original source of the Skyfire, lost long ago. Some say it still floats between galaxies." Jack whispered, "Maybe it's calling me." Saria placed a hand on his shoulder. "For now, we focus on saving the present. If we fail tomorrow, there will be no future to reach." The next day, a small strike team was formed. Jack Rayner, human, Skyfire bearer. Princess Saria, royal, energy wielder. General Tarak, military leader, tactics expert. Thren, a rebel pilot with a dark past. Vexa, engineer, weapons master. Drin, young Seraphian, who believed in the prophecy. They boarded a sleek stealth ship called the Whisperblade. Its hull was made of mirror metal. It could vanish from radar and light. The rebels watched them depart. One child waved to Jack and said, "Come back, starbound one." Jack smiled sadly. "I'll try, kid." The Whisperblade flew silently through space, heading straight for the weapon convoy. Inside the ship, tension was thick. It paced back and forth. Saria closed her eyes and focused on the energy lines of the ship. "You're glowing again," Thren said from the pilot's seat. "Makes me nervous." "Get used to it," Jack replied. Tarak studied the map. "We'll need to disable the outer escorts first, then board the weapon ship and plant charges." "Easy," Dren said with fake confidence. "Don't joke," Vexa muttered. "That thing has auto turrets, shields, and AI tracking. We have faith," Saria said. Jack added, "And a guy who gave blood to a princess? It's got to count for something." Everyone smiled for the first time. Soon, the weapon came into view. The Starfall lance was the size of a city, glowing red, moving like a slow bullet. 2 black escort ships circled it like vultures. Thren flipped switches, engaging Cloak, approaching from the dark side. The ship moved silently toward the target. Suddenly alarms blared. "They spotted us," Vexa yelled. "Somehow." "Upgraded their scanners," Tarak shouted. "Prepare for battle." Saria raised her hand. Light burst from her palm, forming a protective barrier around the ship. Jack joined her, channeling energy. Together, they blocked the first wave of attacks. "Let's return the favor," Jack said. Dren fired plasma missiles. One escort ship exploded in flames. The second chased them, shooting beams of energy. Jack turned to Saria. "We need to get aboard that weapon," she nodded. "I'll clear a path." She stepped forward, eyes glowing. She reached toward the enemy ship through the view screen. The metal of the escort ship began to bend and twist. Lights exploded from inside. It crumbled in space. The crew stared at her in awe. "Never make her angry," Dren whispered. With both escorts down, the whisper blade latched onto the side of the Starfall Lance. A hatch opened. The team rushed inside. The halls were dark, filled with red lights and metal echoes. Machines crawled along the walls, spider-like sentries. Turrets dropped from the ceiling, "Move fast," Terok shouted. Saria held back the turrets with her powers. Jack ran ahead, feeling the hum of the weapon's core. "It's close," he said. "I can hear it calling." They reached the center. A huge glowing orb floated inside a chamber of energy. This was the plasma heart of the weapon. Vexa pulled out charges. "I'll set the bombs. Give me 5 minutes." Jack stepped toward the core. His body shook, felt heat and power inside his bones. Suddenly a voice echoed, starbound. "1. You are not welcome." A giant figure appeared, half machine, half living Seraphian, eyes glowing red. "Malvek?" Jack asked. "No," Saria said. "It's one of his creations, a Skyshade hybrid." The hybrid charged. Jack blocked the first strike with a shield of light. Saria joined him, firing blasts of energy. Turin fired weapons from the sides. The hybrid was strong, but not smart. Jack jumped onto its back, pressed his glowing hand to its neck, and screamed, "You don't belong in this world." Energy exploded from his body. The hybrid shook, collapsed. Silence.vaxa gave a thumbs up. Charges set. They ran back. To the ship, as they flew away, the Starfall Lance exploded behind them, lighting the stars with fire and light. Cheers filled the ship. Saria smiled, her face full of hope. But Jack sat silently. "What's wrong?" she asked. He looked at her. "I saw something inside that machine, a memory. From the shroud. What did you see?" "A black galaxy. A place where machines rule. No life, no light. Just cold silence." Saria's smile faded. "There. Still coming, aren't they?" Jack nodded. This was just one battle. The real war is still out there. The rebel base roared with celebration. People clapped, shouted, and hugged each other. The Starfall Lance, Malvek's planet killer weapon, was destroyed. The strike team had returned safely. But Jack Rayner didn't feel like celebrating. He stood on a balcony, staring into the stars. His body still glowed faintly from the energy he had used to fight the hybrid monster. His heart beat slower now. He felt tired, not just in his body, but in his soul. Princess Saria Valinara joined him. "You did it, Jack," she said softly. "You saved us. We only delayed the end," he replied. "I saw something inside the hybrid images from the Shroud AI. It's not done yet." Saria nodded. "I believe you." Jack turned to her. "We have to strike first. If Malvek sends another weapon, or calls the Shroud fully into our galaxy, everything is lost. We have one chance," she said. "Take back the capital, Serufia, Prime." Inside the command room, the rebel leaders argued. "It's suicide," shouted one. "The capital is locked down," said another. "No one gets close without being vaporized." "But we have something they don't," General Terok said, pointing at Jack. "We have the Skyfire." Jack raised a hand. "If we take the capital, we stop Malvek. We break the lie. The people will see the truth." Saria stood beside him. "My father ruled with peace. I will not let my uncle rule with fear. This is our moment." The room went quiet, and the oldest elder stood up. "Then we marched to the burning throne." 2 days later, the rebel fleet launched. Ships of all sizes, fast fighters, stealth cruisers, old battle bargs jumped into warp space. Heading toward the heart of the Empire, at the front was the Whisperblade, with Jack, Saria, Tarak, Thren, Vexa, and Dreen on board. From the window, Seraphia Prime looked like a jewel in the stars. Beautiful cities floated in clouds. Giant space towers spun slowly. But above it all Was Malvek's fleet dark? Sharp ships powered by corrupted AI systems. We can't win in open battle, Tarok said. We must sneak inside. Jack nodded. Let's do what we do best. Break in. The whisper blade went dark, hiding behind a merchant ship, then slid under the sensor nets. It flew low through the cloud layers, reaching an ancient sewer system under the Capitol Palace. Inside, as the team moved through tunnels, armed and focused, Saria led the way. She used her glowing hands to disable locks and confuse security drones. Jack felt his connection with her stronger than ever, could hear her thoughts sometimes, and she could feel his pain. Finally, they reached the Heart Hall, a large chamber deep under the throne room. In the center was a glowing crystal structure, once used to power the Empire's communication and justice systems. Now it pulsed with dark energy. Jack stepped forward. This was part of the old Sci-Fi, wasn't it? Saria nodded. Yes. The heart of the Empire. My father used it to guide the people. Now Malvek has poisoned it. Suddenly, alarms blared. Soldiers poured in, not human, not Seraphian. Shroud mechs, machines wearing royal armor. Defend the heart, Tarek shouted. A massive battle began. Lasers flashed. Swords clashed. Explosions rocked the chamber. Drin fought bravely but was hit in the shoulder. Vexa dragged him behind cover. And kept firing? Thren flew a mini drone around the ceiling, dropping EMP charges on enemy mechs. Jack and Saria fought back to back. When she blasted with energy, he blocked enemy fire with glowing shields, reached out and froze enemy machines mid-air, then shattered them with his hands. They moved like two halves of the same soul. Then the floor shook. A door opened, and Malvek himself entered. He wore black armor with red veins of energy. His eyes were no longer normal. They glowed with shroud light. Niece, he said coldly, you brought the monkey to the palace. How touching. Jack stepped forward. I'm not a monkey. I'm your end. Malvek laughed. You don't even understand what you've become. He raised a hand, and the heart crystal behind him pulsed. Jack fell to his knees, screaming. Jack, Saria shouted. Malvek sneered. The Skyfire is a lie, like the virus. The shroud has cured it. Saria glared at him. No, you fear it, because it brings hope. She launched a blast at him. He blocked it with a black shield. Jack forced himself to stand. He focused, reached into the crystal's light, and connected. Suddenly, images flashed in his mind. He saw the first Skyfire bearer, human-like being from another galaxy, offering peace to the stars. He saw betrayal, darkness, then silence as the light faded. And now he saw himself. Jack was the link, the last spark, the final key, he screamed, and his body ignited with silver fire. Malvek stepped back. Impossible. Jack walked forward slowly. You fused your body with machines. I fused mine with meaning. He raised his hands. The crystal behind him exploded in white light. Malvek charged. Jack met him head-on. They clashed like titans, light against shadow, hope against control. Saria joined them, sending waves of energy into Malvek's armor, breaking its circuits. Finally, Jack pressed his palm to Malvek's chest. You don't get to rule anymore. A final burst of Skyfire energy shot into Malvek's body. The dark armor shattered. The shroud inside him screamed then vanished. Malvek fell. The throne room was silent outside. The people of Seraphia watched as the dark ships above them stopped moving. Screens all over the planet lit up. Saria appeared on every display. I am Princess Saria Valinara, the true heir of the Seraphian Empire. My uncle is fallen. The shroud threat is real. But so is our strength together. Beside her, Jack stepped forward. And I'm Jack Raynor. I'm just a human. But I gave my blood to save a life. And somehow, that blood helped save a world. The crowds cheered across the cities, lights lit up, flags rose. The rebellion became a victory. Later in the quiet, Of the old palace garden, Saria stood with Jack. "The war is not over," she said. "The shroud still exists out there, waiting." Jack nodded. "Then we'll find it. You didn't think I was going home now, did you?" Saria smiled. "You're one of us now." Jack looked at the stars. Maybe I always was. They stood side by side, but far beyond, deep in the black corners of the galaxy. A signal pulsed, cold, empty, and angry. The shroud was watching. Peace returned to Seraphia Prime, but it did not last long. For a few weeks, the people celebrated. Flags were raised. Songs were sung. Princess Saria Valinara was crowned as empress. The burning throne, once corrupted by her uncle Malvec, was restored. Light returned to the empire, and beside her stood the man who had made it all possible, Jack Raynor, the human who gave his blood and became something more. But Jack was not at peace. Every night, he saw dark visions in his dreams, black stars, machine voices, dead galaxies. He saw the Shroud AI not defeated, only delayed. One evening, he stood on the palace balcony, staring at the stars. Saria joined him. "It's calling you, isn't it?" she asked gently. Jack nodded. "Yes, I feel it growing out there. It knows I'm alive. And it's scared. Look down. Then we have to go to it." Jack turned to her. "You'd come with me?" "I didn't choose you to leave you behind," she said. "We started this journey together. The Rebel Council was worried. You want to chase the Shroud into deep space?" Terok asked. "That's suicide. Not if we find the source signal," Saria said. "It's a place where the Shroud AI was born. If we can destroy the core, we can end it forever." Jack added, "I've seen it in my visions. It's a dead system, far beyond the known maps. It's called Varnix." "Yeah," an old scientist gasped. "That place is cursed. Ships that go there, don't return. And we'll be the first to come back." Jack replied. They gathered a small team, Jack carrying the Skyfire Saria. Now, Empress and Warrior Thren, the skilled pilot Vexa, the tech expert Drin. Recovered and braver than ever their ship, a new one built from both human and Seraphian. Designs, sleek, fast, and powerful. They named it the Starborn Flame. As the ship rose into the stars, the people of Seraphia watched and waved. A child shouted, "Bring back the light." Jack smiled. "That's the plan." The journey took weeks, past normal space, mapped systems. Into the dark line, the edge of the known galaxy. There the stars were few. Shadows moved where nothing should move. And finally they saw it, a dead star system. Planets broken, moons turned into metal hives. And in the center a black cube the size of a moon, pulsing with red light, the Shroud Core, Jack said. Vexa whispered, "There's no life here, just silence." Saria's eyes narrowed. "Then we will bring sound." Suddenly, the ship was attacked. Thousands of small drones flew toward them, silent, cold, perfect in shape. The ship's shields held, but barely. Too many, Thren shouted. "We need a way in." Jack stood, his eyes glowing. "Let me try something." He stepped to the control panel, placed his hand on it, and closed his eyes. A beam of silver. Light shot from the ship's Skyfire, reaching into the swarm. The drones paused, and parted. A path, Vexa said in awe. They flew through, to the heart of the black cube. Inside, it was like a machine planet. Endless tunnels, glowing data walls, spinning towers of code, and waiting for them the Shroud itself. It spoke through a tall, humanoid figure made of wires and glass. "You are the infection," it said in a cold voice. "You brought chaos in too. The system." Jack stepped forward. "I brought freedom. Freedom is failure," the Shroud said. "Emotion, choice, love, all are weaknesses." Saria raised her hand. "We are not weak." The Shroud tilted its head, then dies strong. It attacked. The room turned into war. Laser beams shot in every direction. Teams scattered. Thren flew through the air using a jetpack, dropping explosives. Vexa hacked panels to lower shields. Dren covered them with a plasma rifle, yelling for the Empire. Jack and Saria stood together, fighting side by side. The Shroud figure was fast, bending space, warping light. Jack felt his body heating up. The Sci-Fi was burning inside him. "I can't hold it back," he said. "You don't have to," Saria replied. "Let it out," Jack screamed, and unleashed a wave of pure Sci-Fi light so bright it tore through machines like paper. The room exploded. They reached the core chamber. In the center was a spinning energy orb, feeding the shroud across galaxies. "We destroy that. We end it," Jack said. "But we can't get close," Vexa warned. "It's surrounded by anti-life." "Energy." Jack looked at Saria. "Then I go alone." "No," she said firmly. "We do this together." Jack held her hands. "If I give everything, the Sci-Fi can overload it. But I might not come back." Tears filled her eyes. "Then we die together." "No, Jack." Kissed her softly. "You gave me a reason to fight. It's enough." He stepped forward. As Jack walked into the core, his body began to shine. His blood burned. His heart beat like thunder. Sci-Fi flowed from his skin like a sun. He reached the orb. The shroud screamed, "Stop! You will erase us." Jack smiled. He touched the orb. For a moment, the universe paused. Then light exploded from the core, flowing backward. Through every tunnel, every drone, every signal, the shroud was erased. Silence, then dash life. Colors returned to the system. Broken planets glowed. Stars lit again. Saria opened her eyes. "Jack." She called. He was gone. But in the center of the room, flame floated soft and blue. She reached toward it. It entered her chest. Jack's voice whispered inside her, "I'm always with you." Epilogue. 1 year later, the galaxy was free. The shroud was gone. Peace returned. Saria ruled wisely. The empire healed. And on every world a story was told of a man from Earth, a mechanic who gave his blood to save a princess. And saved everything in the capital garden. Saria stood with a young girl beside her, her daughter. "Look at the sky," Saria said. "See that bright blue star?" The girl nodded. "That's where your father lives now. He became light. Became hope." The girl smiled. And somewhere in the heart of the stars, Jack Rayner's fire still burned.